Hey guys, so how's everyone doing? I hope every one of you guys are enjoying your summer. This is a topic that's been touched one too many times, and I had to make a video about it because it's been bothering me. It's been shaming me. It's been making me feel embarrassed. And, I just had to touch base with this subject because it's something that's really, really been bothering me. So, basically, let's get started with this video. Basically, the conversation I had, like I said, I went this weekend to Atlantic City, and I'm a very friendly person. Eventually, I'll have a group of friends before I leave wherever I go, and we just went from Friday to Monday, and I had a couple of friends already. I was on the boardwalk just like, hey, how you doing, where you're from, whatever, whatever, just making conversation. I'm just that type of person. So I'm speaking to this girl, and she's from Philly and I'm from New York, and I'm telling her, like, she's always like, oh, I'm kind of scared to visit New York because, there's so much stuff on the news going on with New York, with people getting shot and robbed and killed for no reason and all different types of things. Like, she didn't have anything nice to say about New York City, which is very sad because I've seen a lot of people that actually really, 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 really want to visit New York City because of so many landmarks we got, so many different beautiful places we got for you to visit. And it's it's actually kind of embarrassing for you to say, I'm from the Bronx, I'm from New York, and they kind of be like, you from the Bronx, you from New York, and you're not ghetto, and you're not gonna rob me, and you're not gonna steal what I have in my pocket. And I'm like, excuse me, like, there's a bad place everywhere. So I'm trying to explain to this girl that there's a bad place everywhere. I'm like, you're from Philly, I'm sure there's a ghetto in Philly, and I'm sure there's a place where they rob people and shoot people and stab people, and all this other stuff happens just like in New York City. We just don't get it on the TV like everywhere else. I've noticed that we're always the main topic on TV. They be like, in New York today, this guy got shot on the corner. Like, really? Okay, I understand they're supposed to bring the news out. And if you notice on YouTube, a lot of people put up videos and they put up a title that has this much to do with the video. Just like the news in New York City, they put up this big story. Oh my God, breaking news. Somebody just got shot on the corner. Like, really? Everywhere somebody just got shot in the corner. This is a big, big world. Like I said, there's a ghetto in every part of the world. So you're not going to tell me, oh, you're from Florida and everything's all sweet and dandy. There's no drug selling. There's no addicts. There's no gun killing. There's no robberies. Like, you just don't know about it because they don't put themselves out there like New York City does, and make people feel like that's somewhere I would never visit because I do not want to get killed, stabbed, or robbed. So then I just started explaining to her the story that my homegirl told me. She had told me that she went to Ecuador and that she was driving and that she stopped at the stop sign. And when she stopped at the stop sign, before she could even turn her head, they snatched her chain off her neck and snatched her earrings. Now, that wouldn't make me feel like Ecuador is such a bad place. Like, all right, there's a ghetto in Ecuador. There's people that are in poverty. There's people that need food to eat and clothing, and they're willing to do whatever it is they have to do to get what it is they need. Now, all right, New York City, we are very, very, very big population here in New York City. If you look at the if you look at the news, if you look at the newspapers, it's a lot of things going on here in New York City. Like, it's a lot of poverty. It's a lot of people that are poor that, the government's not helping, or even if the government's helping, it's not enough to survive. Our apartment here, all right, in Florida, apartment are $450, 2-bedroom apartment. You come here to New York City, you ain't paying under $1,200 for a 2-bedroom apartment. I don't care where it is you're going, unless you have some government assistance, and a lot of people are too high class or claim they have, they're better than other people and don't want to get the help. Now, those people that don't want to get the help will go out there and rob somebody or kill somebody instead of standing on a line in the government's office, which I feel like if you're in need of help, go get it. Like, don't be embarrassed and don't be ashamed, because, you know, life has its stages. You will get to where you want to be. If you need help getting there, then go get it. But a lot of people just try to take the rough way, and they want to be greedy, and they want to live a life that, you know, they rarely can even afford. Now, another thing here in New York City is, you know, if your kid don't got the latest sneakers and the latest iPhone and the latest gadgets out, as they call them, you know, they're not cool. You go to high school, you have some sneakers from Payless, or you have some clothes from Kmart or Walmart, and people want to stand here and make fun of you because, you know, it's all about fashion and life and being cool and being down and being, you know, being the shit here in New York City. That's what it's all about. Like, you can't walk through the streets with certain outfits because people always have something to say. I'm not sure. I can't talk about any other state. I'm pretty sure it's the same way. But I've seen in Florida, people wear Walmart. Straight from the hat to the sneakers, and everybody's just like the same. Nobody cares what nobody's wearing. Now, here in New York City, you go to Manhattan and you see the Caucasian people. And I'm not racist. I don't care where you're from. I love everybody. But I'm saying, the Caucasian people, they'll sit here and be like, oh, look at him. He work in Wall Street and he got some dusty black Reeboks on. Yeah, but you look at his account and his account is fat. That's the difference between ignorance and smart. You're ignorant if you sitting here talking about his sneakers when you not being smart, thinking about how fat his account is, because he ain't buy the new Jordans that came out for $150, $250. You know, and don't get me wrong. At times I do stupid and ignorant things like that and purchase items that I may not be able to afford at the time, but it's just because I really like it and I really want, you know, I really want to have them. It's not to show them off. It's not to be better than anybody. I'm totally against bullying, making fun of people, making someone feel bad to make yourself feel bad. So when this girl comes out and she says, oh, well, New York City has, what it was she said it had. I don't know. They have like this new disease that's going around with people and their air conditioning system or their cooling systems are infected or whatever. But this happens everywhere. Like I said with the Ebola. The Ebola breakout, they had Ebola. We're not going to say that the first person that got Ebola, their state is Ebola. You know what I'm saying? So it made me feel like embarrassed and ashamed. I'm like, girl, you just don't. The thing was that her baby daddy was from New York and she was from Queens. So I'm like, you're just saying that maybe because you hate your baby daddy, because I'm guaranteeing you, if you go to the Bronx and you visit me, you'll have a wonderful time. You may not even realize you're in the Bronx from how much of a good time you had. You know, there are people that are very ignorant over here with little attitudes. If you push them, if you roll your eyes, even if you stare at somebody or if you look at them, they're like, what the fuck are you looking at? And you're like, I have eyes. I think God gave me these so I can look. So what's the fucking problem? But that's how it is. And that's how it is everywhere. They say it's only here in New York. It's not only here in New York. I've heard people get killed over a pair of Jordans. And it's not here in New York. I've heard people go in and shoot up schools. And it's not here in New York. And I've also heard people get murdered for no reason. And it's not here in New York. So what is the big thing that New York is so dirty? What is so dirty about New York City? Our pollution? Okay, there's pollution everywhere. You're not going to tell me that your water... Actually, I think we have one of the cleanest water systems in the United States. But, you know, you may have another persona. I went to Florida and I took a bath and I was feeling itchy. For like a whole week, I was feeling itchy. Then I go to, where was it I went? I believe it was Hawaii. Yeah, I went to Hawaii. You couldn't even wash the food or the meat or the rice with the water that comes out of the sink. Now here in New York, I use tap water all the time. I've never gotten sick. I'm not sure if it's just because I wasn't used to the type of water that they had. But I know we use our water from our sink to do everything. So I wouldn't think it would be that polluted, because I would think there would be a lot of lawsuits, and, you know, there would be a lot of sick people if we were not able to use our tap water. So I really don't understand, like, why does New York City has this persona? Like, why do people just automatically think it's ghetto, it's dangerous, it's happening everywhere all over the world? It's not just in New York City. It's just our reporters are very nosy, and they don't give detail correctly. They just exaggerate on the title so you guys can be like, oh my God, in New York City they just killed this little girl. All right, everywhere you go, little girls are getting raped, little girls are getting killed, trafficked, robberies, bank robberies, all types of stuff, drug dealers, addicts. There's everything everywhere. I've been to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is my Ila, is where I come from. My blood runs to Puerto Rico. There is so much poverty. There's so much addicts. There's so many drug dealers. There's so many different crimes going on. And, you know, I never see on the news in Puerto Rico, on the corner of 45th Street, they just killed a little girl, or they just murdered a family, or, like, do people not watch? Well, I'm not even going to say Criminal Minds, because Criminal Minds is kind of based on New York City. A lot of their stories are stories that happen in New York City. But watch Dateline NBC. They have so many. They have actually a house in Florida that they have these predators go sit down. Or not predators. They have the little girl go sit down, act like she's 13, 12 years old, try to lure this man to come into the house. Once the man comes into the house, the police officers all run out and lock his ass up. Okay, that's not in New York City. And then also, I've seen another show of a guy that follows prostitutes around, having sex in the back of schools, in public areas, you know, in places where you shouldn't be having sex. And not New York City. So I don't understand what's the big thing of saying that New York City is dirty, that New York City is ghetto, that New York City is this, that New York City is that, when, you know, it happens all over the world. And it really makes me feel bad. It really makes me feel embarrassed to even say anymore. Like, now when people ask me where you're from, I'm like, the United States? Can I say that? Can I say that? Because once I say New York City, or I say the Bronx, it's already a different persona. Like, they're kind of worried, and they kind of think they're going to get scammed or freaking robbed, or something bad is eventually going to happen with this New Yorker. So it makes me, like, sad. It makes me embarrassed. And I don't think it should be like that, because we have so many beautiful things. We have the Empire State Building. We have the Statue of Liberty. We have the Bronx Zoo. We have the Bronx Botanical Garden. We have Ripley's Believe It or Not. They have BB King's. There's so many things, like 42nd Street. We have Rockefeller Center. We have it's tons. Like, I could be here all day telling you all the beautiful and nice things we have that people, you know, wish and pray for the day to be able to come and see. Like me, I want to go to Las Vegas. I want to go to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is like the most place I ever wanted to go. But I'm sure that in Costa Rica I have to be careful, because I'm a New Yorker and I don't know what type of scams, what type of stuff is going on there, because I'm from New York. Now, usually, like I said, our reporters are very nosy, and they're reporting bullshit, a lot of bullshit. Like, they say stuff just to make it sound interesting. Breaking news! There's always some type of breaking news here in New York City. Now I go to Florida and there's breaking news, and it's like there's a hurricane coming. You don't see nothing bad, because people don't want to put their state out like that. But New York City, like I said, is very, very nosy. They put everything. Like, they know where the president's at all times, everybody, because they put it on the news. Like, really, that's so intelligent. And the Pope, when the Pope is coming, where he's going to be, what days he's going to be there, like, that's so stupid to me, because I feel like everybody should not know everything. You should leave some stuff, you know, to privacy. But whatever, that's the New York City broadcasting system. That's the way it works. You know, we have freedom of speech. We have a lot of more rights than a lot of other places. So I guess that's just how it works. But anyway, basically, I just made this video because I wanted, you know, to put it out there that New York is not dirty. And New York is not that bad. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. You know, if you're from the ghetto of Florida or the ghetto of California or the ghetto of freaking Texas, you know that everywhere has its place where you shouldn't be. Just because you're not that type of person. Now, addicts hang together, so you'll go to a neighborhood where there's a lot of addicts, and you'll find a lot of them because it's where addicts hang out. But I don't hang out where addicts hang out, so it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like no matter where I go in New York, it's going to be just dirty and nasty, and that's so false. There's so many beautiful landmarks and places you could visit, and it's just amazing. America. New York is just amazing to me. I love it. I'm so proud and so happy to be from New York City. I'm just like feeling sad, embarrassed, and ashamed that everybody else doesn't feel the same that I feel. So that's why I made this video. So maybe you guys, I could change your perspective on New York City, and maybe you can come visit us, you know, one time or another, and see all our beautiful landmarks and experience, you know, New York City for yourself, and give your own point of view on what do you think or how do you feel about New York City. All right, I wanted to put this at the end of my video. If any of you guys have visited New York City and you have a different perspective, if you enjoyed yourself in New York City, leave me a comment below, you know, just telling me what was the best thing you've seen in New York City. What did you like about it? And how did you feel with the people from New York City? Now, for the people who never did visit New York City and just have this bad perspective and this bad point of view of New York City, you know, leave me a comment also telling me, you know, why you feel the way you feel. What do you feel about New York City? And why does it really make you feel like that? But anyway, I wanted to leave this video on a positive note. You know, like I said, everywhere has its ghetto. New York City isn't as bad as people make it out to seem. I've lived here my whole life. Thank God nothing has ever happened to me in a way that I feel like, you know, I should put it on this video. Just everyday, regular things happen. So basically, yeah. I'm going to leave my video with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys subscribe to my channel. Continue to support my channel. I'll do the same. Bye. See you guys next time. See you in my next video. Bye.